All right. Wonderful. Peter, so lovely to see you again. How are you doing today?
Yeah, good to see you, Noel. I'm doing really well. How are you?
Good. I'm good. Thanks for asking. All right. So today I've got Peter Hagerty, who is the CEO of the Work You Love Network. And what we're going to be talking about today is, or the topic heading today is unveiling the secrets to fun and money. Two of my favorite things to do is have fun and make money. Peter, I'm going to hand over to you. If you could just give us a brief introduction of who you are, where you came from, and what the hell are you up to today?
So when I was growing up, I had a situation where my parents were very unhappy in their work, and it created a lot of drama in the family. So I decided that I would pursue a path of trying to enjoy life and make money doing it. And as a result, from the age of 10, I started a business and started training people in business when I was 16 and
Okay.
have been doing that ever since. When I was about 22 years old, I decided I wanted to really get in touch with who I was and what I really wanted to do. And I went and
Okay.
lived in the bush for 6 months
All right.
just
Peter,
to,
Peter, can I stop you there? Because you've just piqued my interest on something. You were
yeah.
16, and then when you were 22, you decided that you're going to do this fantastic thing with your life. Okay. So
Mm, mm.
I'm not really going to talk about the 22-year-olds today and what they're up to. You're 22. You're 22, right? You barely know your left foot from your right foot.
Mm.
What happened? Like, what was that point in your life where you went, this is what I want and this is what I want to do? Did you have a vision? Did you have an awakening? What was it for you?
Well, I knew that the work that I'd been doing, it fulfilled me in the sense of trying to do something and achieving a goal, but I felt there was something deeper I needed to do.
Yeah.
And I couldn't work out what that was. So I just took my time out to really tune into that.
Okay.
And yeah, and that was pretty hairy in some respects because I was out in the bush by myself. But I just felt, do it while you're young. And when I came back, I came up with a business that I thought might be a lot of fun, and I wrote 16 murder mystery party games, and I marketed them for about 10 years all around the world, and really spent 10 years going to a lot of parties. and
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but I was still like helping other people with their work while I was doing that.
All
And
right.
then I systemized that business, and I ended up only having to work about 10 to 15 minutes a day for many years. And then I decided to go into something deeper and started helping long-term unemployed people. So people who've been unemployed for more than 4 years. I got a government contract to help get them on track, identify purpose, tune into what they love,
Mm.
refine that, find what expertise they may have that they didn't know they had, and then market that to the job market. So that was a nice, interesting thing for me. And then since then, I've been doing a lot of business coaching. And I like taking people from really not knowing what they want to do all the way to whatever is the pinnacle for them. And that may be, well, I design jewelry and I just want to make a stable income doing that instead of
Mm, mm,
ripping myself off.
mm.
And then there are other people that I've helped. There's one guy, Brian, who's more than happy for me to talk all about everything he's done. He was a telemarketer and now he's a space entrepreneur, and he routinely hangs out with Richard Branson and so on. And there's another project which I'm working on, which is very I can't say anything except it's worth over $1 billion.
Right.
So that's the the gamut of what I like to do. And I think anybody who wants to do something has some passion and some curiosity and is
Mm.
willing to make being disciplined about it a fun exercise, then you
Yeah.
can go to great heights. And those heights are about what your heart says, not what society says. And as far as I'm concerned,
All right.
yeah.
So, how? I really want to know how you did this thing. Like, did you plug into someone who already had the genius behind it that mentored you? Like, I'm really trying to connect that. What happened in your brain? I'm fascinated on what will happen. What was the two neurons that connected that caused you? Because you have a beautiful mind. Simple.
Thank you.
Okay. And I want to start to sort of unpack that beautiful mind and how it works and how you can very simply show other people how to do that as well.
I think what really worked for me was being curious about people
Mm,
and what they could teach me and what I might be able to teach them. And so being teachable was really important. So
yeah.
when I was 10, I saw someone in a gift shop near my house who was learning how to play chess from a book. And I just said, oh, would you like some tips? And so this adult is like, got this 10-year-old kid going, he's going to give me tips on, hang on. So I played him in chess, and I didn't mention this, but I was a bit of a chess prodigy. So when I was a kid, um, and so I beat him many times in a row, and then started coaching him in chess. And then he taught me a whole lot of things, like enormous numbers of things that a 10-year-old could not possibly
Mm,
learn about life. And I learned about business from being in his shop playing chess with him while in between customers.
mm,
And then when I was 16, I did an exchange program to Hong Kong. And it was like I met one mentor after another, a guy named Albert Moses, who taught accelerated learning. I learned accelerated learning from him. And then I
mm,
was reading between 20 and 30 books a week for many, many years. And it was all about how can I help the world to be more abundant by helping people connect with their heart and bring what's in their heart outside and present it in a way that other people value and then will pay them for. Because I was like, if everybody could make money doing what they love,
yeah.
how would the world be if that was that
Yeah.
case? And then I realized that I wanted to free people from mental slavery.
Mm,
So this
mm,
was me as a teenager being a bit arrogant.
yeah.
But yeah, so you're asking me about me as a kid, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
mistakes I made. And so how did I come up with it? What was the genius? I don't know. I just had this real proactive attitude.
Yeah.
And one of my mentors, uh, I, geez, you're getting me to tell stories now.
Yes, I am.
um, yeah, I developed this game based on the Myers-Briggs personality type system called SIFT, which was
Mm,
sensor, intuitive, feeler, thinker. And it was basically indicate your reaction to a certain situation using these cubes and so on. And, I'd use this protocol or that protocol. And then the other person had to try and guess what you would actually do in the situation.
mm,
So I developed that game and started getting that patented. And another mentor of mine had a brother who was a game manufacturer in Singapore. And so it just kind of went off from there. And the game didn't go to final publishing, but that kind of set me up for a whole lot of other business opportunities later. So I read that quote when I was a kid, which is the master has failed more times than the novice has even tried.
yeah.
And so I just decided I'm gonna start failing a lot.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
so I just had a lot of failures. So we can talk about, yes, I did this and I was amazing, but there's like 100
I didn't say
failures
that.
behind
I didn't
that.
say
So,
you were amazing. You said that.
well, I don't want to come off as though I'm telling everyone how incredible I am,
Yeah.
because if there's anything that's remarkable about me, it's the willingness to fail.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Amazing. Amazing.
amazing. See, now you're saying amazing.
Oh, sorry. You put it into my consciousness.
I totally did.
Amazing. Amazing. Look, I'm totally on board with this concept of having fun to make money. I think that because I've consulted a lot of business owners, and I think step number one when I'm consulting them is you got to have fun.
Mm,
So if you're not having fun in this, and if your focus is just on making the money, you've missed the point. Like
yeah.
there is an energetic release when your focus is on having fun. And that energy, the energy of fun, sort of ripples out and attracts people into your sphere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
And
so
it opens up opportunities.
it does. It really does. It's like it's on a magical level, unseen level. And I'm talking down on the energetic, spiritual level. I know you're talking, on the mental level, but all I'm hearing is, there is an energy behind having fun, and it's attractive.
Mm.
It's very
Mm.
attractive. So
Mm.
your university is, let me have a look, the Work You Love Network. Is that
Yes.
right? Yeah. The Work
Yeah,
You
that's right.
Love Network. So talk
So
to
that
me
when
about
you're
that.
talking
Mm.
about what in particular,
It's like the Work You Love Network. I want to know, when you're consulting with a business owner, let's just say they've reached a plateau in their business, nothing's happening, right? And they've brought you on board. Um, what's your first step with them? What do you do? How do you incorporate fun into their work life? How do you incorporate that fun energy?
so I asked them to talk about if things went really well over the next year, how
Mm,
would it look?
mm,
And then I asked them, how does that feel? Because usually when people aren't connected with what's fun, they're not connected with their body.
yeah.
And so I go, hey, and this is a little bit of somatic psychotherapy here. So, hey, what's that sensation? What's that sensation feel like? What does it have a color? Does it have a sound? Does it have a texture? Does it da
Yeah.
da da? And then I ask, what is it telling you? And
Mm,
almost always they can't tell me. And then I
mm,
go,
mm,
okay, if we need to connect with that to get you to where you want to be, because your brain is going in this particular direction,
yeah.
but your body is not engaged, your heart's not engaged, and your intellect is not engaged. And we need all three of those to get your inspiration happening. So when you said I'm talking on a mental level, but you're picking up spiritual stuff, then that's pretty intentional. It's a strong habit of mine to
Mm,
talk to
mm,
people on a mental level because we are a very mental
yeah.
society.
Yeah.
But I do want to connect them with inspiration. And so I've got to start where they're at. I can't talk about um, woo woo mystical
Yeah.
stuff to
Yeah.
most hard nosed business people because they'll just be like, oh, okay, see you later, hippie. Right? so,
Yeah.
so if I'm talking to a defense contractor, which I've been doing fairly often in the last few years,
Mm,
I got to talk about the real nuts and bolts of negotiation and
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so I've got to be mental. But I'm a very, very, I'm all about the integration, instinct, intuition, intellect,
Yeah.
and inspiration.
Yeah.
So that's how I help people integrators bring those all into play. And if they're not having fun, it's almost always they're not in touch with their body and they're not listening
Yeah.
to their heart.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. I totally agree. Yeah. Talk to me about what you've got coming up. I am going to be sharing your links when I post this video anyway, but
Mm.
talk to me about what's in the works for you. What's coming up?
So I have the Fun and Money Challenge, which is
Mm,
something that I run on a regular basis, where you log into a group environment for 1 hour a night for 5 nights in a row, depending
mm,
upon where in the world you might be. It might be daytime.
okay.
Um, and we take you through all of the protocols for how to connect and integrate yourself in a way where these doors that may have been standing there wide open, you just haven't been able to see because your radar's not up. You're obsessed with one aspect of your being and ignoring the others.
Mm,
And we need all of those aligned so that you can see, hang on, there's an opportunity right in front of me that I've been wanting for 10 years. And hang on, ideally, if the program goes for you how I want it to,
mm,
by 5 days in, you'll be like, oh, there's something that's really obvious that I didn't see. And you know
mm,
what? It's actually really
yeah.
easy. And even when it's hard, the the hard bit feels exciting. And that's when I want people to be, having fun with stuff that can be challenging,
mm,
but is mostly rewarding. And so that's that's what we do in the Fun and Money Challenge. I
mm.
try to run those once a month, and we record it. I've got some recordings coming up on the website now, and there's a whole community that is being built around that. I'm very excited about that. We're going to have that community accessible through mobile apps now
Yeah.
in the next few weeks. Um, and I just want people to be able to go, hey, you know, I did this little challenge for myself, and I made a game of it. I allocated points to these different tasks, and I scored this many points. And I try to tell them to make the points very personal. Like you might want to measure it in, like I love playing computer games where you kill zombies. So I measure my thing in how many zombies I get rid of. And other people, it's like horses. So it's like how many ponies. And so we just make the points really silly
Mm.
but fun, because if we make it silly, we don't get the serious ego. And
Yeah.
egos, I don't have an issue with ego, but it's this serious controlling ego who
Mm.
wants you to suffer in order to get rewards
Mm.
so that it
Mm.
can feel important. If you make the point silly, then you get to enjoy it, and you can focus on how much value you're delivering to people rather than trying to get paid for suffering. You get paid for value. And so, yeah, so that's a long answer to a short question.
I like that. I like
Yeah,
that so much. I can feel the fun that you have in
yeah.
everyday life anyway. So what
Mm.
gets you down? Is there anything that
What gets
sort
me
of
down?
stumps you? Yeah, what gets you down?
Um, well, I was on a podcast recently with a client of mine who runs a thing called Ripen, and he talks about resilience.
Mm.
And that podcast, because he had heard my story, because I had 4 years of disasters, um, deaths. We had to evacuate our house 4 times during the bushfires. And then after that, we were flooded in
Mm.
repeatedly, didn't have power. And then I had a client pass away, which
Mm.
really still affects me.
Wow.
Good friend.
Mm.
And there are all sorts of other things. I have some IP, some intellectual property, which I sold to a very large organization, and then someone stole it.
Mm.
And then this large, very serious, very powerful organization investigated me. And that got me down. so I, and so that was hard to make a game of that, because
Okay.
this organization has the
Mm.
power to make my life terrible,
Yeah.
and maybe even have me arrested. But I was able to prove that I didn't have data leaks. So
Wow.
yeah. So another thing that gets me down is because some of the clients I work with takes me about 10 minutes to log into my computer because of the security protocols that I have to have running. That
Mm.
that gets me down. But I I just want to get to work. I don't want to spend 10 minutes
Yeah.
signing into one layer of
Yeah.
security after another, but that's
That's
what I have to
amazing.
do.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
So I guess the other thing that gets me down is people who sometimes come to me and they want all this assistance, but they refuse to
Mm.
feel their feelings,
Yeah.
and they want to have theories about their feelings in replace of their feelings, and then wonder why
Yeah.
they don't feel happy. And
Yeah.
I've spent maybe 30 years trying to find a solution to get that person, those sort of people, to not do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's,
So
yeah,
you do get resistance. You do get clients that have pushback.
absolutely. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, how did you ask, how did I get to do all these things? It's because
Mm.
I'm teachable.
Mm.
And if you're
Mm.
not teachable, it's like that old saying, if you know the professor goes to the Zen master and tells the Zen master, I know all of this, and the Zen master is pouring the tea until it overflows.
Mm.
And then the professor says, why stop pouring, it's already full. And he goes, well, how can I pour any wisdom into you? You're already
Yeah.
full.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I am a student of how to get through to people who don't want to be teachable.
Okay.
but I only have so many hours in the day, and there are so many people who want to learn. I'm going to focus on
Mm.
those that want to learn.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Yeah. Wow. Normally I end these recordings by asking a question. What would you tell your 12-year-old self that would change the trajectory of your life? Is there anything that you would go back and change? Or if you could tell yourself, like, have you, looking back, and I know you've learned a lot through failure. Is there
mm.
anything you change?
Yeah, if I could tell my 12-year-old self anything, it would be these three principles, which I've
Mm,
refined down. It's
mm,
do what makes you feel energized,
mm,
what makes you feel expanded, and
mm,
what makes you feel engaged. Stick
mm.
to those three things, and doors open, opportunities almost throw themselves at you,
Mm, mm.
and you don't have to worry about people that aren't teachable. You don't have to worry
Yeah,
about
yeah,
those challenging things, because you
yeah,
can just go in the direction which feels good for you.
yeah. On your
That's what
life's
I tell.
path, yeah.
Yeah,
What you've been
yeah.
put here to do.
Mm.
I love that.
And your purpose. Sorry.
No, go on, go on.
Oh, your purpose gets awakened by following the three E's: energized, expanded, engaged.
Yeah,
And yeah.
I love that. Peter, we're coming to the end of our discussion, unfortunately, and it's
Mm.
gone so quick. I want to bring you
It
back on
has.
I want to bring you back to do part two because I want to get inside your head.
Oh, okay, cool. It's
Yeah.
pretty scary in there, but if you're
Oh, I
game,
like that.
and
I like that a lot. I want to get
yeah,
inside your head and find out what makes you you.
yeah. Well, I'd be happy for you to do that. You're
Great.
very easy to talk to.
Thank you.
Mm.
Yeah, I love people's stories. I mean, I get people in supermarkets telling me their life story. All I have to do is
Yes.
say hello and I love it. I
Yeah.
love hearing people's stories. Like, I want to know where they came from. I want to know the challenges. I want to know how they overcame those challenges. I'm fascinated with people there. I'm fascinated, when we were talking previously, I'm fascinated by people's brains and what makes them
Mm.
do what they do.
Yeah.
Fascinated by that because
Yeah.
we're not the same. No two people are the same.
No, no, I'm totally with you on that. Maybe I should be interviewing you.
No, it's a dark place. Just because I'm wearing my sparkly top and red lipstick, no, it's
Yeah.
a dark place under here. And that's where I have the most fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the psyche is just like you'll never discover everything about the
Yeah,
psyche.
yeah,
Like, if you're curious about it, if you fall in love with the journey, you'll be in love forever. So
yeah.
if you're in, it's just the fact that you can't know everything isn't
Mm,
scary.
mm,
It's exciting for me.
mm.
Um, yeah, good on you for
Yeah.
that curiosity.
Oh, it's fascinating. It's fascinating. Hello, microphone. I take my dog to the dog park of an afternoon and I make it a point to meet somebody new every single time and then ask them how you are, where do you live? Do you come here often? And then start to get them talking. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I bet do they ever get embarrassed by how much they expose?
No, no, because
No? Oh, good.
We're connecting because we both have
Yeah,
dogs.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
connecting on the dog level. I don't know their names. That's the funny thing. I don't know 90% of these people's names, but I know their dogs' names.
Yes.
And I'm okay with
that's
that.
that's Fido's owner. Like,
There's Charlie over there, and there was this huge, it was one of those giant poodle dogs, big black thing, and it had its collar, it had its name on its harness, and its name was Phoebe. And I thought that is
oh,
the best name for a dog, Phoebe.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know, it tickled my fancy, and I had to have a conversation with the owner on the name, where the name came from. Was it after Phoebe from Friends?
Mm,
That opened up a
mm,
whole world of discussion on why she called it Phoebe.
yeah. My dog's asleep on the lounge behind me.
What's your dog's name?
His name is Clifford.
Clifford, of course it is.
Yeah. Hey,
Clifford the dog.
you going to sit up? No, he's not. He's like, I'm too busy sleeping, buddy.
It's all right. Clifford, that's a great. We used to read comic books on Clifford. Come here, darling.
Yeah, he was a rescue. He had that name when we got him. There's,
This
oh,
is
what's your
Max.
Max?
This is Max. And apparently
Hi,
Max is the
Max.
most common name for a dog in the world, followed by Charlie. And I thought I was being original and clever, but I'm not. Max is a
Wow.
toy poodle.
A toy. I didn't know Max was the most common name.
Apparently it is. Max
No.
and then followed by Charlie.
He
Yeah.
looks like he begrudgingly loves hugs.
He
Like,
he's got a resting bitch face because of his eyebrows. People say he looks like me. And I go, yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, enough of that frivolity. That was fun. That was so much
Mm,
fun, Peter. I'm going
mm.
to post all your social links and where people can find you and contact you when I post
Wonderful.
this video. I'll let you know when it's coming up. Thank you so, so much. This was
My
fun.
pleasure. Thank you,
Thank
Noah.
you. You have a great week.
You
Bye
too.
now. Bye.
Bye.
All righty then. So I've just finished